For today, I don't want to talk about money. I would much rather talk about having two masters. Because Jesus is correct, it just doesn't work. There's a thing in the corporate world. It's called the 5 dysfunctions of a team. And if you think about it, really when you get down to it, a corporation is one big team. And they say that when a team fails, it's more often than not the cause of one or more of 5 basic reasons, the 5 dysfunctions of a team. For the sake of time, I'm not going to walk you through all 5 of them, but I would like to share with you the first one and the last one. And the last one is relevant to our gospel today. The first dysfunction of a team is very straightforward, very simple. Lack of trust. If you don't have trust, you don't have a team, your organization fails. That is true for a marriage, that is true for a sports team. No team can truly thrive with an absence of trust. And frankly, I think we see plenty of that in the Catholic Church. You know, so many of our problems in the last, 20 years, a lot of it boils down to broken trust. And there's nothing we can do except build that trust up again together. Because as many of you know, there is no shortcut when it comes to building trust. It takes time. So that's the first one. The 5th dysfunction of a team is failing to put the team above individual wants or desires. This is very common in the business world. People will fixate and prioritize their individual reputations, or maybe their own department, at the expense of the bigger picture. They reason that if the corporation fails, but their department looks good, then that's a win. It's not. When a company fails, everyone in the company fails together. So if you like, we could rephrase that and state that the 5th dysfunction of a team states that you cannot serve the team and yourself at the same time. Not in equal measure, anyway. In that moment of truth, one must give way to the other. And that is exactly what Jesus was talking about at the end of the gospel. You can't serve God and money at the same time. Not in equal measure. One must give way to the other. Now, there are a lot of things that seem more important than God. Money, of course. Family. Promotions. The avoidance of conflict, that's a big one. And of course, sports. Now, mind you that all those things are good, and all of those things are important. But all of those things can be corrupted. All of them can be used as an excuse for something horrible. I think the mafia is a fair example of family being more important than God. It's corruption and evil in the name of the family. God is what grounds us. God, serving God above all things, is what keeps everything else in alignment. It lets everything else in our lives function appropriately together. And furthermore, serving God above all things can make things right again after they've gone wrong. Can a church be corrupted? Yeah, absolutely. A church is a thing. Therefore, it can be misused. God cannot be corrupted. That would be a contradiction of who God is in the first place. So that means that whether we're dealing with problems in the church, in the family, or at work, the same solution is available to us. Refocusing on God and what He wants of us in life, we can absolutely regain holiness in this life as long as we're willing to truly put God first in our lives. It's when we're not really prepared to do that, that's when the problems start stacking up. So on that note, I will end with some very basic, straightforward advice. When you have a decision to make, and when you don't really know what to do, look to Christ. What is He asking of you? What does He want of you in that moment, at that place? Don't follow the money, and don't follow the crowd. Follow Christ and put your trust in Him wherever He leads you.